You got to make it out.
Got to. Everybody said it. That's why Jim Hicks hyped me up so much. This is where I'm from pretty much. It's kind of small a little bit. You could call it the hood because every night, gunshots, everything. But it's Fifth Ward, Texas, mixed with Trinity Garden. If you're from here, you'll know it's small, but you know it's from the hood. This right here, the Prince Complex, where Jay Prince built his gym where we come in and hoop at. If you ain't no real hooper, don't come, because you will get exposed. You see Trevor don't come in here.
Ward over in that area, north side, you know, people look at that area and be like, oh, you know, they not nobody. They just some boys that just growing up and just life go be thrown away. And you know, and over there in that area, you gotta prove everybody wrong. And he doing that well. And you know, he's setting an example for little kids in the area, so that's a good thing. And he's setting examples. I mean, he's showing people that there's people like out of Fifth Ward that can make it.
I mean, you touched on it a little bit about Fifth Ward. So how hard is it to come out of there and be a positive, you know, role model or influence or figure?
Well, you know, the things that surrounded us, you know, every day, those things, some people take a toll on, you know, but you can't fall in that hole. You gotta, like I always told, and Kendrick know it himself, you always gotta create your own road and, you know, and set a lead by example every time. You know, it's not easy growing up in an area like that.
Let's talk about what type of kid he was growing up.
Wow, where do I start? Horrible. What do I start? Kindergarten? First?
Yep.
Second? Oh my God, horrible. And all of a sudden, middle school.
Let me see how to put it. This good. Kendrick been caught in a couple situations as well. He come from Fifth Ward, come from the hood, you know what I'm saying? But he made a change, and he told me he could play basketball way back in middle school. But yeah, I'm just saying he made a big turnaround from where he was at. Where he was at was alternative school, CP. He made a big turnaround. He came back. He doing big thing. I hope to see him in the NBA one day, man.
First, we've got a player just outside the top five, an announcement to get to here. De'Aaron Fox, number 7 player in the ESPN 100, number 2 point guard out of Cypress Lakes High School in Texas. Really impressed folks out of the summer. Paul, shot up your ranking.
He had an outstanding summer. Always a scoring point guard. This summer, he found the balance between scoring and facilitating. Blazing speed in the open floor, one of the best defenders I've seen.
You know, all I know was you last year. They were saying he was number 4 in the nation and all that.
He was number 6 at the time.
Yeah, but when you stepped up and put it on his ass, put him on skate, shit, that's the bad nigga land right there.
Coldest guard under me and JJ in Texas, straight up. It's not even close. No, it's not even close. Straight up. Thank you. Straight up. You know I give respect when, and you know it. I give respect when respect is due. He got it. He got that. He got that.
kids that was at the gas station. It impressed me that them little kids is like 14 and they pumping people's gas. Instead of like taking the money like I would think, that's the easy way. They pumping people's gas. And you know, people is cruel. They'll give you a quarter after watching you inhale vapors and everything. They'll give you a quarter for pumping gas. And I gave them little kids like $50. They was like, thank you, but that teaches them the worst. That teaches them that when you work hard and being responsible, there's a reward for that.
One of the challenges was because we didn't have a lot of positive males that we could look up to. And every day it was a challenge as far as trying to make the right decision. And when you have so many individuals making the wrong decision, it was hard to get away from that. I related to Kendrick because some of the things that he went through as a young man, I went through the same. I think that's why I kind of drew a magnet to him, because the same path that he took with basketball, it was similar to what I took. You know, it was the drugs, the gangs, old school trying to, you know, influence you to do this, but in order to do this, you have to do that for them. You know, so some of those challenges is a lot what Kendrick had to battle with, and Kendrick is still battling with at this time. I think Kendrick is a lot mature than a lot of kids at his age, because he has basketball IQ and he also has street IQ. Those two combinations are very deadly. They're very deadly. When I was coming up, I mostly had the basketball IQ. I didn't have much of the street, but I seen a lot. And I didn't want him to go through the same path that I went through. But I did see him falling in that path. So I would try to influence him to stay on the right track, because if not, I gave him examples of a lot of individuals that I grew up with that didn't make it, that's in jail or dead or walking dead. You don't have to be dead.
Coach Perez came out and watched a couple of his 8th grade games. So when we decided to make the transition to go to Sam Houston to put him under Coach Perez, that gave him more structure than anything. That's when he hated basketball. He didn't want to see the basketball court again. He didn't want to see Coach Perez ever again. He would come home and complain every day about Coach Perez. And eventually he knew, okay, this game is not about me. I still got to have my structure. I still have to do this. I still have to abide by rules. So with that being said, he kind of started toning down the lives.
On a big level, just, you know, imagine if a corporation just sent a representative and said, just go hang out in that playground. And when you tell them you see the one, whatever kid is the coolest and shares the ball or lets the most people play the basketball, we're going to give them a scholarship. You know how many things, because then that would bring hope. You know what I'm saying? There's no hope. And it's not going to be too many more Christmases without hope. You know what I'm saying? Not to make it just about Christmas, not going to be too many more days.
So give us an idea of how it was when he came in and how you felt like he responded to your structure.
Yeah, I don't know if it was too much for him. I think it's kind of what he needs. When you get a kid that is as talented as Kendrick, and he's pretty much used to dominating his opponent, it's hard to reach him unless he has respect for what you're trying to teach him. And so by coming here, like I said, we do have a lot of structure, but we give him a lot of freedom as well. So when he saw that we weren't trying to restrict his game, but we were trying to make him the type of player that was more of a team-oriented player, then he bought in. So, I mean, great kid, great player, and eventually it all came together for us.
Well, his dad went away when he was about, I want to say 2. He was about 2, almost 3. And at that time, I wasn't working, so it was kind of hard. And just so happened, I can't really remember day for day, but I do recall a day that I had my life-changing experience when I walked into the daycare, because before it was me, their dad was taking them to the daycare. It was Kendrick and his older brother. It was just those 2. And his dad left. I took him to the daycare, and once I took him to the daycare, they gave me the opportunity to kind of spend more time with him, because he was always the daring child, the child that would do it if you say don't do it, or the child that would, you know, just test it. So once his dad left, I took him to the daycare. The lady at the daycare, she asked me what was going on, and I explained to her what was going on. So she decided that day to give me a job, because she knew I couldn't pay for the daycare. So it gave me the opportunity to kind of be there with Kendrick and kind of mold him back to, and then he started missing his dad a lot. At that point, as time went on, maybe like a week, a month, he started missing his dad, because he was very attached to his dad. They slept together every night, so he was kind of attached to his dad.
Turned 2 years old, I had caught a case. That's back when I was in the street. And when I came home, that's when he was into the basketball thing. Well, I had heard it, you know, my wife used to tell me when I used to call on the phone. And she used to tell me, he good. I say, whatever. You know, from a woman perspective, that's your baby.
Yeah.
Hey, I know how with it is. But when I saw him, I said, man, he good. He got potential. But he was small, you know, and had, you know, height means a lot in this game. When I came home, I just saw him, and I saw him grow. Which Mingo had really put him under his wing and was really looking out for him while I was locked up, from a male perspective, and I really appreciate that.
One of the things that I feel personally that Kendrick had to overcome was male discipline. That was one of the things that he was lacking in his life, that I seen that he was lacking in his life, because at that time his dad had to go take care of some taxes, so he had to go pay his dues to the taxes on some of the things that he had gotten himself into, you know, in his early years of his life. And Kendrick kind of struggled with that, because he didn't have that male figure in his life that would direct him in the right direction. Not only that, it wasn't too many males that he really trusted. So that was one of the things that that I think that I helped him with, was trying to build that trust in male figures. So I would say that his behavior, far as with males, was a challenge for him at an early age, because he never had that male figure in his life.
Right, and we his mom told us about some times. I mean, there was a bunch of times that you and Kendrick would butt heads. You know, it was normal. You know, could you explain either one of those circumstances, you know, and just in general, you know, y'all bumping heads, and how tough it was to stay committed to, you know, bringing the young man out of his, you know, his plight?
Most of the issues that Kendrick and I had was trying to get him to stay focused, and trust issue was one of the main issues that Kendrick and I had. We bumped heads a lot. Kendrick and I bumped heads a lot, but we were able to overcome that in a short length of time, because he didn't understand some of the things that I was trying to put in him. I think I may have installed some things in Kendrick that was over his head at the time, but at that particular time, I was only testing his intelligence. I was trying to get him to understand that in order for him to make it out of this society and where we both from, that it would take toughness. So a lot of times, him and I he would challenge me with some of the things that I was trying to teach him. But as far as being disrespectful, I think I'm probably one of the males that Kendrick have never really disrespected.
When you make it out of here at the light, when you make it out of here, man, do you plan on giving back to the community?
Yeah, I plan on putting a gym in here like Prince did, like Jay Prince did. I plan on putting a gym for little kids, stay out of trouble, stay out of jail.
You plan on doing any investing in this community outside of the gym? Buying up some houses and apartments, anything like that?
A couple apartments around here in Fifth Ward that's terrible. I plan on rebuilding, making it better. Yeah.
What would be your goal to when you buy some real estate? What's your goal? Is your goal to make some money, or is it to?
Nah, it's pretty much to drop the murder rate and the drug rate around here. Get as much people off the streets as I can in a good way.
Kind of like gentrification. Okay. So where we headed to?
This where I grew up at for a while before they tore down the park. Before the drugs started coming in, they tore down the park and all that.
So there's a big drug.
It's real big. All around here, drugs everywhere.
Well, Kendrick is, if you are talking about street smart, he's obviously very street smart. I mean, growing up in the heart of Houston, Texas, and his background, he's seen a lot of things, and he's streetwise. Sometimes maybe a little bit too much, and so I try to rein him in. I was raised in East Los Angeles, so I kind of know a little bit about that. But I try to make them understand that that can backfire on you if you're not careful. You got to take what you learn in the streets, and you got to take the good and separate the bad. But he does a pretty good job of that. He's got great mom and dad at home, and people around him do a great job of keeping him grounded.
How do you think the handling of is it Coach Perez? You think he was
tough?
Yeah.
He was tough. I was at the practice. When Kendrick was in the 9th grade, I was at practice every single day. Every single day. He get kicked out, I put him right back in.
Yeah.
Coach Perez kick him out, get right back in there. And they bumped heads. They bumped heads a lot. Because, again, Kendrick felt that he had total control. Because of middle school, because of all the rest of the stuff. But he didn't.
Saying my freshman year, Perez was mean. I ain't have nobody that mean ever on me. I did pretty much what I wanted to in the 7th and 8th grade in middle school. So when I got to high school, I thought I was going to be able to do the same thing. Realized I couldn't do that quick. He bumped heads a lot my freshman year because I felt like he was too mean. I hated him. But at the end, when I started listening to him, we got on the right track, and he gave the team to me, and we went all the way to the 5th round my freshman year until I got hurt in my sophomore year. Stayed healthy, and we got all the way to the state semifinal. So Perez helped me out a lot. I'm mentally tough now because of him. I can take coaching to a whole nother level, so he helped me out a lot.
He made the transition. And when Kendrick was wrong, Coach Perez punished him.
Got him.
Punished him. And he accepted the punishment. I remember one time Kendrick got kicked out. Before he had to go back, he had to do 17 towels. After he got through, he stood up and asked Coach Perez, "That's all you got?" And walked off. It's the type of kid he is. Yeah. But he loves Coach Perez.
Oh, yeah.
He loves it. Because Coach Perez is more like a father figure that's not going to back down. He's not going to back down, no matter how tough he is. He know he needs him, but at the same time, he wants Kendrick to be a leader and to grow up and mature as well.
So give us an idea of how it was when he came in and how you felt like he responded to your structure.
Yeah, I don't know if it was too much for him. I think it's kind of what he needs. When you get a kid that is as talented as Kendrick, and he's pretty much used to dominating his opponent, it's hard to reach him unless he has respect for what you're trying to teach him. And so by coming here, like I said, we do have a lot of structure, but we give him a lot of freedom as well. So when he saw that we weren't trying to restrict his game, but we were trying to make him the type of player that was more of a team-oriented player, then he bought in. So, I mean, great kid, great player, and eventually it all came together for us.
Okay, and can you give us an idea of what kind of student athlete he is, you know, as far as, you know, coming to a school that's sort of like a STEM school, heavily on math and science and stuff like that. How does he fit in well at Sam Houston?
Kendrick is very capable of being an AB student. I mean, he's that right now, and I think I'm always on him by giving the best effort in the classroom that he can. I think as long as he's got the mindset that he's going to compete in the classroom like he competes on the court, he can be a very good student. His basketball IQ, it's off the charts. I mean, the kid, he's really, in 26 years of coaching, probably the only kid that I've ever just watched do something on the court, and I've had to turn around and tell my assistant, did he just do that? And it's just, you know, some of the things that he does, even as a freshman. Very first game that we played over at Sterling High School, I think we won the game in overtime or double overtime. He did some things that were amazing. So he knows how to take it to the basket and finish, and he knows when to dish it off and for an assist. So I mean, his IQ on the basketball court is very high.
You got to make it out.
Got to. Everybody said it. That's why Jim Hicks hyped me up so much.
Why?
Because I'm probably one of the first in the hood to be good and talked about in like the last 10 years. He said really ain't too many people from the hood just been talked about. It been like the De'Aaron Foxes,
yeah,
from Salt Lake, JJ Caldwell from Cypress.
Yeah.
You heard of Tech Minor?
Yeah, that's what he said. Tech Minor was cold from around here.
So talk about what you heard about him. We could tell y'all stories.
I heard Tech Minor was a beast. I heard couldn't nobody really stop him from scoring. I heard he had about 40, but still, I'm still gonna be better than him. So it don't matter.
Came in contact with him obviously at the beginning of the year, but knew him when he was younger. Started watching him a lot more this last year when he was a freshman at Sam Houston. Just kind of following him, knowing what he did, who he was, and his circle who he ran with. So we just kind of continue to follow him and just keep contact with him every now and then just to see how things are progressing with him. So we've been knowing him for a while.
Okay, and you've been involved with some of the top point guards that have come out of this city. Where does Kendrick rank in your opinion, with those guys?
Wow, that's not a hard question to answer. He's right at the top. He's probably probably top two out of the most mentally tough kids that we've had out of the point guards. He's an alpha male. He's strong. He's strong-willed. and he's got a desire to be great. And only thing that people quote unquote try to knock against him is his height and size, but he's gonna win for you. He's been known to win, and if you want a job, anybody want a job, winners win. That's just what it is. He's a winning point guard. That's what he does.
So he has to battle against, scrutiny about his size, and obviously where he comes from. So talk about Kendrick as a person. Like, how does he handle all of that? The pressures of trying to be a D1 player and, kind of stand out.
He handles it. Actually, he handles it pretty well. But at the same time, we got to remember, he's a 16, 17-year-old young guy. So when they hear people saying this, they hear people saying that. Some things bothers him. But one thing he does, he channels it back onto the court, which is a good thing. So he wants a lot of things that the other people before him have had. If he's missed it, he asks the same question. Well, coach, why didn't I get that? I didn't have that same opportunity. Sometimes we say, look, man, everybody's road and path is different. You got to understand that. So stay locked in. Everything that you want is going to come. Unfortunately, right now, sometimes you got to prove, some people just a show me type of people. They don't want to hear about it. They want to see it. So we about showing it when it comes. So that's the communication we have with him, and he's been very positive and receptive of it.
Last question: how does his teammates respond to his personality, his character? With all the hype that's surrounding him, and then just basically how he carries himself.
Man, look, he's got a little aura about himself. People respect him. Sometimes I sit back and say, player, he put like this. He's a guy. He wants somebody to come at him. Bottom line. He wants somebody to come at him, and he's asked for that before. Coach, they not playing hard enough. They not coming at me. I need somebody to come at my head. That's how he is. He wants that competition. He needs that fuel to help him to get better. But at the same time, his teammates respect his grind. They respect how he approaches the game, and and he's still learning a lot of things about how to start games out and how to finish games throughout the course. So he's learning that, but at the same time, he's got their respect because they see that he has no problem taking the lead at all. That's just kind of what it is, and I think that's a jewel. That's a jewel. It's something that people just take for granted. Too many people look for points. It ain't all about that.
You mentioned one thing, and I'm sorry, I lied. There's one more question built off of that. You said that you want people to come after him. There were reports that DJ Peavy, when they played against each other in San Antonio, they had a little duel. Can you explain that whole situation?
That was a really good game, man. Peavy came at him off the rip, straight from the beginning. Kendrick kind of it took him like about and they weren't guarding each other at first. Not that it was designed for that at all, but after a while, when Peavy kind of got hot, Kendrick hurried up and switched. Hey, I got him. And they just went back and forth, man. They was, iron sharpens iron. They was like, look, I'm going to take mine, and I'm going to take yours too if you don't come at me. And Kendrick like, no, I'm having mine, I'm going to take yours too. And they just went back and forth, man. And it was a great showcase, to be honest with you, man. And just regardless of winning and losing, if you're not looking at the scoreboard of that game, you go out there and just watch the players, and you got respect for both sides because you say, hey, both of them guys can play. You know what I'm saying? And right now, at the end, we came out on top. So, that's just he gets that notch. That's just what it is.
Speak to us about how you feel Kendrick will be in the coming years, in the future years for Sam Houston High School.
I think Kendrick is the best point guard in the state of Texas. And I think he's one of the top point guards in the country. I'm certainly happy to have the opportunity to coach him. I don't sugarcoat anything for him. I think that he knows what we try to teach him here is what he needs to know going and moving forward. I expect that he will do some great things here in the future. Having been All-State as a sophomore, there's little room for improvement, but I think he knows that he can still improve, and I guess he needs to set his sights on the All-American game now because I think he's very capable of that.
I want to know where you're going. Playoffs, state again? Well, I'm trying to see where you're going. Cause right now, I ain't gonna lie, the word on the street is y'all ain't got nothing over there. Y'all ain't gonna even make it to the playoff. That's word on the street, man. I'm straight up.
Nah, that's word on your street.
I'm just saying, that's what they come tell me. I say, they like, man, he gonna have hell. He ain't gonna be able to pass the ball to nobody now. He gonna have to score. And they say he can't put the ball in the bucket. I'm telling what they come to me and say. So they gonna come talk to me. You think he can finish? And I say, yeah, he can. They like, well, he ain't got no help this year, so we gonna see what he gonna be able to do.
I pass the ball like.
But you ain't got nobody to
like
pass it no more. So you gonna have to score a little bit now.
I can score.
I'm
See,
sorry,
the hood doubted me though. First game of the season, we trying to get Wheatley, man, at Wheatley. The whole hood come out, I'm gonna have 40. Remember that season opener, I'm gonna have 40. Remember that. Just for y'all saying I can't score the ball.
Now, hold on now.
Come on.
Now, that's too much now. That's too much. Y'all might score 40, but you ain't gonna have no 40.
You got me dead, man.
Not on no Wheatley.
What?
Not on no Phyllis Wheatley. Now, I can see you playing Jeff Davis or somebody.
You know why Coach Peck got fired? Cause he know I'm from Fifth Ward. They didn't even get me to come to Wheatley, man.
He deserved to get fired. The shit he do. But that's a hard 40 you trying to put on. I ain't gonna lie. You know they sending them goons at your ass.
Sending them goons? What? I had 8. I ain't gonna lie, I had 20. I averaged 20 this year. People don't know that though.
Yeah, but I'm saying they say cause you know you had a bunch of help around you. Now what's gonna be if you the main concern?
Shit, I've been there my whole life.
I'm saying game plan is on you. What you gonna be able to do? I'm asking, man. Cause they bringing this to me, man.
What, they think I just get downs or something?
Yeah, they say you you eat off how the team eat. That's what they been saying. I'm just telling you what they come to me. I got my money. You already know I'm in the stand, yell out. I'm out there. That's what they bringing to me, man.
I can't do it no more. You just did it. You right.
You know.
You right. Cause that's what they just told me before you pulled up.
I'm not lying.
They say I can't score the ball. I just can pass it.
They say you ain't no killer.
Yeah,
I want to see this. I just want to see some killer.
I really want to go home on some shit because that's really kind of getting to me now.
I'm telling you.
Because when you know where I come from scoring a lot, huh?
Or how hard is it for you coming up out of this area? You ain't made it out yet.
Oh, I made it out.
You made it out? How hard was it for you?
Oh, it wasn't. For my mama, it was hard. For me, it was just adapting anywhere I go.
So what you mean by that?
No, I really love this place though, for real. I've been here too long.
You gonna come back and do some good for it?
Oh, yeah. This all gonna be redone.